It's very difficult that you feel alone in this place because the school personnel will always be kind to you. And also I've been able to develop all my sciences abilities because all of the teachers have a high level.
A mí me gusta mi colegio por sus espacios, sus zonas verdes y que podemos hacer deporte en muchos lugares.
Promovemos el cuidado y respeto por los animales. Los niños aprenden de dónde vienen los alimentos y son conscientes del cuidado por la naturaleza.
En el preescolar del Colegio Franciscano del Virrey Solís buscamos el desarrollo integral de nuestros niños y nuestras niñas con un alto nivel académico. Para esto contamos con amplias y excelentes instalaciones que nos permiten crear experiencias significativas de aprendizaje, involucrándolos en su mundo.
En los laboratorios podemos desarrollar diferentes actividades que nos permiten descubrir el entorno e investigar distintos fenómenos físicos.
Our school is looking for providing our students with comprehensive training through a new methodological proposal called 4 Talents, creating environments that allow students to understand problems and at the same time they can propose possible solutions.
La educación que ofrecemos es integral, lo cual permite potencializar el talento de cada uno de nuestros estudiantes para servir mejor a la humanidad y responder a las necesidades del siglo XXI. Los niños y jóvenes encuentran un propósito para sus vidas: descubrir las habilidades necesarias para vivir de forma fraterna consigo mismos, los demás y el entorno, con la formación en valores. Comprenden la realidad pasada, presente y futura. Se pretende que descubran su grandeza como personas para poner sus cualidades al servicio de la humanidad, con el interés de superar los desafíos que retratan la paz y bien. Fraternidad con nosotros mismos, con los demás y con el entorno. Al estilo de la familia franciscana, nuestros estudiantes tienen la capacidad de vivir de forma fraterna consigo mismos, con el planeta y la humanidad. Geometría, estadística, pensamiento científico, biología, física, química, pensamiento humanista, estudios sociales. Inglés, literatura y lingüística, pensamiento tecnológico, tecnología, robótica, pensamiento artístico, artes plásticas, música, expresión corporal y teatro, educación física.
El colegio se clasifica en la categoría A+ en las pruebas de estado ICFES.
We show them with facts and we provide a warm atmosphere to all our students.
El esfuerzo y la dedicación es lo que siempre nos lleva a cumplir con estos objetivos.
Hace 21 años nacimos pequeños. En ese tiempo hemos crecido gracias a su confianza. El respeto, reconocimiento y solidaridad es la forma que lo pequeño se hace grande. Son muchas las personas que se benefician y vibran con nuestros sueños. Y son muchos los que se identifican con nuestros valores. Por eso hoy quisimos demostrar, además de comprobar cómo la cooperativa ha impactado la vida de sus asociados y familias, y probar que son las cosas que más nos unen, aquellas que nos hacen.
Ahora el mismo contenido de las dos botellas de siempre en la nueva botella rendidona de Aromate.
Setting up a multi-camera live stream or podcast has always been complicated and expensive. That is, until now. This is the Blackmagic A10 Mini, and for $300, it lets you switch between 4 HDMI inputs live. And before we begin, I just want to make sure you know this video is sponsored by me and my paycheck, because I'm the one who bought all of these things, and this video is not sponsored in any way. I think that's important because it's going to be a pretty glowing review. In fact, to just jump to the end and spoil the whole thing, out of a 10-star rating, I would give the A10 Mini 11 out of 10.
The numbers all go to 11.
And that's definitely not because I'm a huge fan of Blackmagic products. I actually tend to not like them very much. You might remember my video about the Elgato Camlink where I talked about how much more I like it than the Blackmagic Mini Studio Recorder, which I really dislike a lot. In general, Blackmagic has a lot of really good ideas, and they have so many products, and some of them are truly excellent, and some of them are truly awful, and a lot of them, I have found, in my personal experience, tend to be in the middle, where it's a great idea with a really funky execution. And while the A10 Mini has a few areas for improvement, this is an absolutely groundbreaking device, and as far as I'm concerned, it's perfect. And so despite my long-standing hesitation to use Blackmagic products, this A10 Mini has really captured my attention. But in order to understand that, I think it's important for me to give a little bit of context within the world of video switchers. So I got my very first job back in 2001 working at a TV news station where they had a production switcher for a company called the Grass Valley Group, and it looked something $100,000. And obviously, considering that was purchased in the 1990s, it was not a high definition corporations and network affiliates and customers like that. And after that, in 2016, I came to this school where part of my job was to set up a live daily broadcast program. I've talked about that quite a few times before. But the first thing I did was look for a mixer, and this is the one that we ordered, which is the Roland V40. And this mixer is a 4-input mixer. It does take HDMI, SDI, RGB components, so it's very versatile on what it takes. And it's super reliable. It's really fussy about like making sure every input has the same frame rate, resolution, and the output to match and all that. But once you get everything matching, this sucker's very reliable. The thing is, this 4-channel mixer, at the time we got it, cost $6,000. So it's literally one of the most expensive single pieces of equipment in this whole studio. And if I'm sweating right now, the air conditioner is broken. It's like 100 degrees in here. And so about 2 years ago, we actually replaced that with the Blackmagic TV production studio. And this mixer is an 8-channel mixer, and that was a big thing that I wanted, was to be able to have more inputs. Because with 4, we could do 3 cameras and like graphics on a computer or video playback. Now we can do 7 cameras plus some video playback. And the thing about this Blackmagic mixer when it first came out is it was about $2,000, which is the cheapest I had ever seen a production switcher, especially considering it has 8 inputs. It does definitely have some quirks, but for the price, I mean, this is unbelievable. So this became our studio mixer, and the Roland mixer is one that we use for mobile live streams. But again, this was $6,000. This was $2,000, which is why this little Blackmagic mixer is so incredible. For $300, this does almost everything that Roland $6,000 4-channel mixer does. But the thing about this also is it's so friendly with resolutions and frame rates. You can plug in pretty much any HDMI source, computer, TV, console, camera, frame rate, whatever, and it will convert it to whatever you set it as an output, and it will do everything at 1080p. You don't have any other options besides 1080, but it does give you 23.98 all the way up to 60 frames per second. So that's $300, $6,000, $2,000, $300. So with all that being said, while this might not be a perfect device, for what it does for $300, I don't think there's really any legit criticism you can throw at it, other than the fact it doesn't have a power button. Blackmagic has a thing where they just don't like putting power switches on their devices, which is insane. I luckily have been able to just hook this up to like a wall plug thing that lets me control it with the remote control. So when I want to turn it off, I can push a button here and it turns the switcher off, and I can push a button here and it will turn the switcher back on. But otherwise, the only way to turn this on and off is to literally unplug it, which is just silly. The same is true for the $2,000 TV production studio that we have at work. Just put a power button on your products. Come on. It doesn't take any kind of black magic to see that that is a smart thing to do. But beyond that, and especially considering this is marketed for, you know, a home streamer or a consumer, this does everything that you need it to do, and it just kind of gets out of the way. Each channel has its own audio input, so you can choose by pressing AFV, which is audio follows video. That means every time you cut to that angle, the switcher will take the audio from that angle as well. These little up and down arrows let you adjust the volume of that input, and in addition to that, there are also two 3.5 millimeter inputs on the back that you can turn on or off and adjust the input level. Now, unfortunately, you can't see what the level is. You just have to turn it up, turn it down, and probably use your software to monitor it. But one thing I like to do is I've plugged my VideoMic Pro Plus directly into this, and it has worked terrific as an audio source. But typically when I'm using this, it's with the Rodecaster Pro. I just plug the monitor outputs into one of these 3.5 millimeter jacks, and then I have all of the inputs, all of the sound effects, all of the capabilities of the Rodecaster Pro available as I'm doing any kind of streaming or online classes. And that's really where I decided to purchase this thing, and where it has totally been a lifesaver is starting this school year virtually and online instead of in the classroom like normal. It was about 2 weeks before school started, and I realized, oh my gosh, it's not just enough to have a camera that I can talk to my students with, but I'm probably going to want to switch to different camera angles as I'm doing that. And then that's what made me realize this was going to be the perfect thing for my setup. And then from there, it can be used in live streams. When Heather and I do our weekly podcast, sometimes we play around with it. And the reason that I know that it is really good is because oftentimes when I get my new camera gear, Heather, my wife, is just kind of like, oh, that's cool. And when I got this, she was legitimately excited about it because of the capabilities that it provides. So the fact that So it's not even that this is just a simple mixer. It has a lot of really cool built-in features to the hardware component, and then goes through the roof once you bring in the software component if you want to take it to that level. Now, in learning more about this switcher after I got it, I found a great use.
Hello, dudes, dudettes, duders, and everyone in between, and welcome to this not a 1, not a 3, but a 2 tutorial. My name is Jesse Kester. I'm a filmmaker, a producer, a director who lives and works in Los Angeles, California. Today we're going to be looking at how to do simple animated lower thirds that come on in like this. Oh, look at all that animation. They go on out like this. Whoa, there it goes. And we will build them using Keynote, Macintosh computer, and the ATEM Mini Pro. Now the ATEM Mini Pro looks a little bit like this. The Macintosh computer looks a little bit like this. And the software that we'll be using looks like this. So what we're going to do is go over the hardware and how that's all set up together. Then we're going to take a look at the software. Software includes the ATEM software controller and Keynote, which is free if you're using an Apple computer. And then we are going to kind of tie it all together at the end. How does that sound? Good? Let's get into it. All right, first let's look at the hardware configuration. And to do that, we're going to look at the ATEM. Now the audio is coming in from the Zoom H6, which is barely in frame. You can see that we are running in with a headphone cable and that the sound is on for that one. Sound is off for every other feed. Left to right, let's go over these guys. We got HDMI 1 is our hero shot. You were just looking at, whoo, what a hero shot it is. HDMI 2 is coming from the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema. And HDMI 3 is the wide shot. Don't know that we're going to use this one, but we got it on backup if we need. And you'll see the white HDMI cable goes right into the computer. Continuing on, the HDMI out goes to the Ninja Assassin, which we are using for monitoring only, not recording. Next is USB-C. We've got that plugged into a hard drive, and we've got the record on. Finally, we've got the Ethernet plugged into the computer, and that is how we are controlling the ATEM. Now, you are going to need to download ATEM Software Controller and have your ATEM plugged into the software to access this higher functionality, all the chroma keying, and we'll be doing some picture-in-picture, I imagine, if the spirit compels. So that's the hardware configuration. Let's get into software. Here we are in the software. We're going to go to full screen on this so that there are no distractions. And basically what we're looking at is the upstream key tab. And we're going to be doing chroma. So what you want to define first is which camera will be chroma keyed. We're going with camera 4 because that's the one where we have our animated lower third titles. And next step is defining the chroma sample. So how you do this, it's pretty simple. It's a fairly intuitive, but not completely intuitive interface. So what you've got is this little square box here, and this represents your full screen. So as you move this box around, you'll notice that the preview starts to change. And what it's doing is averaging together all the pixels that are inside that box. So I'm going to move it around and try to find that red box up there for cam 4. No. Anyway, you get the idea. So right now it's on that green right around here. If we go too far left, it'll turn gray. If we go too far right, it'll turn gray again. Now we want that green. If you're doing a real green screen with an actual screen that is green with a camera pointed at it, you want to be lighting it as evenly as humanly possible. We've got the deck stacked in our favor here because we're building our green digitally in a piece of software. So this green is identical to that green, is identical to that green over there. You can't lose. It's really quite miraculous. So now that we've got that set up, let's go over to Keynote and build our environment. So I've started with a blank workspace here. Simple as can be. You go to a shape, pick your square shape, and stretch it out to the size of the entire canvas. Now, if your graphics that you want to remain on screen, if you're using a green palette for that, you can use any color here. You can use blue, you can use magenta, whatever you want, you can use it here. but we're going to go simple. We're just going to go with green. Something I like to do at this point is right-click and lock that to the background, since we're not going to be moving that at all once we get started. We should lock it down. We're going to be moving all the other elements, the lower thirds, the text, the little graphic-y, animation-y things. Those we're going to be working with, and we don't want to accidentally animate the background. Let's do a quick test. We're going to go back to our hero cam, and let's take a look if that green screen is working. We're going to turn it on, and it looks like it's working perfectly. You see how I'm framed by the Keynote software? That's because if you look at Keynote, everything that is in that canvas is currently green, and that's why I'm green, except for the mouse. Let's click on me. Anyway, back to our software. Next thing you're going to want to do is create another shape. Now, you don't have to build these shapes in Keynote. If you want to build them in Photoshop and do more detail work, you certainly can. We're just doing the quick and dirty version for this one, because you know I love it quick, and you know I love it dirty. You can almost hear Michael Scott echoing in your ears, can't you? All right. Let's spice this up a little bit with a gradient, and here comes the text. Now, some of you dorks and nerdlingers might settle for Helvetica New. I'm not that dork. I'm not that nerdlinger. I'm an Avenir Next guy, and that's just how it is on this program. So we're going to go Avenir Next. We're going to blow it up a little bit. I do like that font quite a bit. Let's give ourselves a little bit more space to work with our graphics, but we already have our basic lower third. Let's test it out. Wow, what a lower third. Now make sure you play as you're testing it out. That's way too big, wouldn't you say? So what we're going to do is shrink that down and try it again. It's looking better. Looking better. What if I had good posture? That would be perfect. That's a wonderful little lower third. All right. Next step is to animate it. Let's take a look at how simple that is. You go over to this animation tab, build in, add an effect. Now here's where there's one thing you have to be careful of here. Just one little thing. Hey, why are we still in this version? We do not need me on screen right now. There we go. One thing to be aware of is you don't want to use any of these transitions that include a fade up or any effects with transparency. Like if you look at this lens flare, you'll see that there are incredible transparencies throughout, and this is what it'll look like if you use something like that. The green is kind of, sort of, a little bit wonky. So we're going to go with something a little simpler. Let's try this move in effect. That seems to be working pretty well. Let's use that. All right, now enough is never enough. Good enough is not good enough in this house. We're going to add a symbol. Now last time I went with an aperture symbol because I wanted it to look like I was a filmy, makey guy. But now we're going to go with a heart because I'm a lover, not a fighter. Make it white so we can see it. No, nobody needs a dark, evil heart. We want loving, sunshiny hearts, don't we? To that end, let's just go ahead and make it orange. Make it a really lovely, sunshiny heart. All right, that's looking good to me. But we want to add a bit of animation to it. So we're going to go back to animate, and we're going to go to add an effect. And we're going to go a little juicier on this one. We're going to do bouncy. Last one came out bouncing in. It's very cute, very adorable. Now there's one problem with this. It doesn't look like a problem quite yet, but I'm going to show you how it is a bit of a problem. As we bring it in, there I had to tap once to bring in the lower third. Where's our bouncy little heart? It's coming in a little late, but none the worse aware. What we want is for that little heart to bounce in right after the lower third comes in. So we're going to go to Build Order and drag and drop that up. Right now it says after build 1. We can have it with or after. We're going to leave it at after. Let's take another look at that and see if it works any better. Here it comes. Zoom. And there it is. On one click it came in perfectly. Next is to get rid of it. Getting rid of it is quite easy. We're just going to select... Why am I still up? I keep forgetting to... Hi. Bye. I keep forgetting to get rid of myself. We want these both to leave at the same time. So we're going to go to the Build Out tab, add an effect, and we're going to go with move out. Look at them go. Now, if you wanted to make it a little tighter, because by the time you're building out, you don't want to be distracting from the actual interviewee, or in this case, oneself. So we're going to drag and drop that up there, and instead of after, we're going to do it with. And let's take a look at how that goes. Couldn't be better. Perfect. I love it 1,000,000,000%. All right. Let's take a look at how that looks. We're going to go back to camera 1, turn on the green screen, and hey, it's Jesse Kester, the explainer guy who loves you. And get out of here, lower third. Nobody wanted you in the first place. All right, so that's looking good. That's how you build it over in Keynote. And again, if you want to use something a little more robust, something that you built in Photoshop with a bit more TLC, I would recommend it. But this is just to introduce you to the upstream keying features on the ATEM Mini Pro. Let's get into that software for a minute and figure out how that works. So now, here we are in the software. We've got our upstream chroma key set for camera 4. And what you can do is click on air and key, and that should work. You can't see it because we're stuck in here. Over here, let's take a look if that is working. And so what I did was you know what, let me get out of here, and we're going to take a look at the ATEM as we do this. So what we're going to do is switch back over to Keynote and load up that big old green screen. So I'm going to turn keying on the ATEM, and when I do that, nothing should happen. It shouldn't look any different, because if you look over on feed 4, the entire screen is green. So if we key out an entirely green screen, nothing will be seen, as the old poem goes. Let's run that animation, and you should be able to see it up here on the screen. Let me bring down that brightness a bit. It seems to be overloading. You should be able to see it on the screen up here as it happens on your main screen down there. Yep, there it goes. There's that heart bouncing on in, and now it's going to disappear. All right, so that is a quick, simple, down and dirty overview of upstreaming chroma key in the ATEM software controller using the ATEM Mini Pro and a MacBook Pro as your chroma key titles lower thirds source. I hope that's helpful. If you have any questions, please, I encourage you to look down below at this thing called the comments section, where you can type in your questions, and I will do everything in my intellectual and physical capacity to answer those questions. If I don't know how to answer it, guess who's going to know that I don't know immediately after I don't know? It's going to be you, and now you know. Other than that, of course, comments, subscriptions, notifications are all valid ways to show affection in this modern digital age. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll be back at you again soon with another tutorial on whatever it is. Bye.
In this video, we're going to look at 3 different ways to add titles and graphics to your videos with the Blackmagic ATEM Mini. Hi, I'm Aaron Parecki. If you're watching this, I'm assuming you're already familiar with this little incredible device. It's an extremely affordable 4-input HDMI switcher, and it is packed full of features. If you haven't seen this yet, I'm going to leave a link to my other video down below where I talk about my 3 favorite things about the switcher and why you should absolutely get one right now. So today I want to talk about 3 different ways you can make your live streams so much better by adding titles and graphics to your streams. Okay, first of all, if you are streaming using a computer, then you can just use the free app OBS, which can use the ATEM Mini as a video input, and you can push that video from OBS directly to YouTube or Twitch. OBS is a fantastic app, and I am not going to go into all the details of the features in this video because there's just a ton, but it also lets you do things like create scenes to easily switch between different graphics overlays. You can even use like a web browser as an input. It's fantastic. I highly recommend it if you are using a computer as your live streaming encoder. You can create lower thirds within OBS, you can load full screen graphics from image files, and this is a super flexible option, but it's actually not my favorite for a few reasons. It means you are stuck using a computer for the streaming. There are much better options for that, such as using a dedicated streaming encoder device, and that means you don't have to bog down your computer doing that encoding, and probably it's also quieter since your computer fan is going to come on. Another downside is that your only copy of your main program out, the video that you're feeding to the live stream, lives only in your computer, which means you're trusting your computer to not crash. But also, it's kind of awkward to switch between controlling OBS and also controlling the A10 Mini, especially if you're just running a stream by yourself. This is not my favorite option, so I'm not going to go into the details of how to do it this way. It also isn't actually specific to the A10 Mini, so you can just go look up any tutorial on adding graphics in OBS, and you will find plenty of those tutorials if you're interested. So instead, let's focus on the other two ways that I actually would recommend adding graphics to the A10 Mini. So the A10 Mini has a built-in media pool. This is something that you don't get on any of the other similarly priced switchers. Wait, what am I talking about? There are no similarly priced switchers with the same level of features as this A10 Mini. Yeah, so it's actually kind of incredible that this thing can store 20 full-frame images in internal memory, and then you can switch to them like they were a camera angle. Or you can use them as overlays on top of your video as well. The trick to enabling this feature in the A10 Mini is that you need to use the software control app on a computer. That app unlocks a huge set of features that you don't get from just the buttons on the top. I have a separate video that goes over a whole bunch of the pro features of the A10 Mini, so I will link to that below as well. So, you need to get the software control app installed and talking to the A10 Mini. And I will admit that this is not the most obvious thing if you just go look at the Blackmagic website, so let's walk through that really quick. It took me a while to figure this out, and I swear I have to relearn it every time. So, first go to blackmagicdesign.com, click on the support tab at the top, then click on ATEM Live Production Switchers. Now it's going to look like nothing happened yet because the content's actually loaded down below the page here, and I think somebody should tell them about this. I swear it confuses me every time. So if you scroll down after you click that, it then shows you information about just the ATEM switchers and not the rest of their products. So look for the first one in this left column here that is called ATEM Switchers Update. That's the one you want to download. You can skip the rest of it. You're going to get this pop-up, skip registering here, you've probably done that already, click the download only option in the corner. It's a pretty big download, it's like a couple of gigs, so it might take a while. This is actually the same app that is used for every ATEM switcher they sell, everything from the cheap Mini to the $10,000 8K switcher. Okay, once you've got that installed, make sure you've plugged the ATEM Mini into your computer over USB or configured it on your network. Either way is totally fine. Now you're ready to start using the graphics features. So this middle tab, Media, is where you can load up graphics into the switcher. Let's talk about a few different ways you can use this. The simplest way to use the media pool is to load up full screen graphics for your intro and outro and your break screens. Take any 1920 by 1080 image and you can drag it into one of the slots here. Then you can drag the image from this slot into the active media player and it becomes a camera angle you can switch to with the still button on the switcher. This is a good start, but in reality, you're not going to want to go into your computer to switch the graphics all the time. I definitely recommend using macros in the ATEM to give yourself buttons you can actually press that will switch the image in the media and cut to that media all with one button press. You can assign these macros to physical buttons on something like the Stream Deck, which makes it super easy to switch between your different still images when you're in the middle of a live stream. My last video about the A10 Mini Pro features walks through that whole thing, how to get that all set up. So again, click the link below to go watch that video if you want to see exactly how to create those macros that will let you do this. Okay, let's talk about lower thirds and other overlays. Loading up full screen graphics is great and all, but what's really amazing is that you can also load in images with transparency into the media pool, which means you can create lower thirds or corner bugs, and if you create a transparent ping and load it up, it will actually overlay perfectly onto the video with the transparency and everything. So
Soy Luisa. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the Hi, I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff. A company different by design. I want to show you more than 4,000. Inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. Hi, I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff. A company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one concentric. Hi, I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff. A company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices.
We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one concentric. I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one concentric. I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one concentric. I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one Concentrics. I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our Concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one Concentrics. Hi, I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our Concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one Concentrics. I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our Concentric. We are more than 4,000 in this family. We believe in the talent of our people. We have different programs for you to grow with them. We have leaders that inspire you every day. Our sites have the best locations and offices. We take care of your safety. We are one team, one company, one Concentrics. I want to show you a company that is fanatical about its clients and staff, a company different by design. I want to show you my company. I want to show you our Concentrics.